Okay, everybody. It's 12:30. Let me go ahead and call the meeting to order. Want to welcome everybody to the Matthews Mid-Hill Toastmasters, where we rock, flow, and grow.
Okay, what did I get
That's
myself
your favorite
into?
part. We're gonna let you do that when you're Toastmaster. All right, so I got something that came up here on the screen, Jonathan, so I'm just
The
gonna.
meeting is being recorded, yes.
Okay, fantastic. So let me just take this moment to remind everybody that we want to silence our cell phones so we don't interrupt any of the speakers. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to today's Toastmaster, Jonathan.
Wow, a lot of people today. Yeah, that is good to see.
Yeah.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Scott. You always do the best ones. As Toastmaster, it's my responsibility to introduce people and what's happening today. So let's first introduce the officers of the club. We actually have Dale, who is our president today.
Dale, isn't his name Bill?
Well, sorry, I'm saying Dylan, I know.
We need a little levity.
I'm slightly dyslexic. Come on, read it. Vice President of Education, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Vice President of Public Relations, Valencia.
On the phone.
Secretary, Brianna.
Yeah, there he is.
Treasurer, Jonathan. Oh, that's me.
Ah!
And, excuse me. Immediate past president, Sergeant at Arms and IT support, Vicky. Clear my throat for that long list.
You see, the IT support is really.
I did. I said IT support. Yes,
That-
you read that.
Y'all
right.
need to laugh at that. Really
Today's roles are filled by the following people. Please
Yes.
introduce yourself and what you do. Sergeant at Arms, Scott Davis.
Oh.
You want me to come up and tell you what it is?
Sure.
Why?
Wouldn't actually have a specific thing, so-
Oh, sounds good. As Sergeant of Arms, you get to see what I do, and that is to open up the meeting on time and try and get the room set up and the sign here and the lectern out. And that's pretty much it. And then turn it over to Jonathan. So that's what I do. Thank you.
And you did a fabulous job.
Give me a little bit, evaluator, we have Tim.
Yeah.
Come on down.
Thank you. What do? I am tasked with the responsibility of looking at everything in the room, looking at how the setup went, observing the various speakers and ensuring that they follow the proper protocols, and if not so, report on this afterwards, which we will do at the end. Thank you.
Barbara Marion, our night counter, we have Jay.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be the grammarian for today, and my job is to listen to the speeches and count for ums, ahs, filler words. So, and things like that. And I'll keep score, give you a report back, and that can give you the feedback you need to try and improve on that for future speeches.
Hello, Ma.
What?
Just repeat the name.
Today we have Topics Master, Jeffrey.
Today, my goal is to provide me for a chance to speak 1 to 2 minutes on subjects that are either very lighthearted, very serious, but chance to get members a chance to speak on their feet. Thank you.
And today's timekeeper is Latricia.
Good afternoon, everyone. My role as timekeeper.
No.
We can't hear Latricia. Well, Latricia was assigned, we didn't know if she was gonna be here, so.
It's on the list. Sorry, Latricia, continue.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My role as timekeeper is to keep track of the benchmarks during your master or table topics and speeches. So I'll hold up the green at your first benchmark, orange at your second, and red at your last benchmark.
Thank you so much. My apologies for the sound, something's up with the sound.
Just her, isn't it?
No, it's everyone online.
Oh.
We need a cell phone, can someone turn up a cell phone?
Are you able to turn the sound on your cell phone so we can cut it down on computer?
Let me see.
So while we're sorting that out, today's topic.
Did you say turn the sound on?
Yeah, move it down the other side. Yeah. Today's topic is, are you ready?
So
As in, you're ready for this. I love that song, by the way. It's one of those. Yeah.
That's not gonna be so good.
That's not gonna be so good.
No, it's not. Scott, you. Okay. We'll continue. Are you ready? Next week, we're having a contest. Table topics contest. So that's gonna be really fun, and I want to make sure you're all ready for that. Today, we have no speaker, so you got plenty of chances to test yourself, see how good you are. Before the ultimate challenge next week. But also, are you ready for Christmas?
Sure.
All the Christmas parties are coming up. All the hassle of all the presents and actually having to put up with your family members.
No, don't do any of that.
Yeah, I'm kind of lucky. My family's in Britain.
Ah.
In-laws I have to put up with. Yeah. But then, are you ready for a new year, which follows soon as after the hangover's cleared?
Uh-oh.
Well, the stomach has settled down. Yeah, I always think as soon as the turkey's gone, it must be New Year's. Yeah. And we have a guest, Megan, correct? Yes.
Yes, Megan, I talked to her last week.
You can probably tell from my intro, I suck at names. I apologize. Anyone if I ever get the name. So, without further ado, and let me just change one thing quickly. Let's take it over to Jeffrey for table topics.
So, should I? If online attendees, it's okay still to ask some questions or should I just?
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
people online, yeah, not visitors though.
Sure.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna message.
No.
Something. You continue. So, okay, you can continue. I'm just checking this.
Topic, are you ready? Are you ready for these hard questions today?
Sure.
If you were president for a day, what would be your first action for the country? Tim.
Oh, yeah.
If I were president for the day, what would be my first action? I would, first and foremost, make an effort to reestablish the integrity of our election process. While it has been sold as in the press as completely fine and above board, one can't help but wonder when there's 6 swing states in play. All 6 of those swing states pause the counting process while one candidate was ahead, then resumed the counting process, and miraculously all 6 states flip-flopped to the favored candidate of the press. Well, this just defies logic, if not statistics. And really, our democracy depends upon a reliable and trustworthy election process, which I feel is very much in doubt. Secondly, I would attempt to right the wrongs that have been done in the way of law enforcement. The Constitution states there's one law for everyone, yet clearly there's a set of law for conservatives, and there's a set of law for favored folk on the extreme left. This cannot stand, and it causes chaos that needs to be righted. All the other things like spending and all these other issues, these things we could address later. Fundamental issues like this must be addressed, and I think quickly. Thank you.
But you continue talking.
Well, do we have a Democrat that wants to speak?
While he's doing that we started working on last week, I don't know if everybody knows, but according to Toastmaster guidelines, or the founder of Toastmasters, Ralph Smedley, we're not supposed to leave the lectern unattended. So before you walk away, make sure the next speaker is in front of the lectern. There's supposed to be a proper handoff. We let that go slack during COVID because we were on Zoom all the time. So we really need to start working on all of us, not just you, honey. I just.
Sure.
She likes picking on.
What's the biggest difference between someone with a victor or a victim mentality? Jonathan Roberts.
He just jumped right in on you, didn't he?
Point of order, could you explain, do I get 2 minutes, minute?
1 minute to 2 minutes.
Okay, and could you repeat that question for me, sir?
What's the biggest difference between someone with a victor mentality or a victim mentality?
Okay, so a victor sees a challenge and starts executing a plan, be it as hard as climbing Mount Everest or whatever it be. I think each of us here has been a victor, but also and a victim as far as our attitude. It has a lot to do with your attitude and how you approach a challenge. Oftentimes I find myself hacking towards a victim mentality, but it never pushes me in the right direction. It always makes me less productive. And so thankfully I have a wife who kicks me back into the victor mentality so that I can accomplish things. And oftentimes it brings a lot of hope when you change that perspective.
Thank you. Next question. Do you think Toastmaster tabletop topic section is a good or destructive feature of the Toastmasters Club? Dylan.
Thank you, Jeff.
There you go. Perfect.
Excellent question. I'm going to begin by adjusting this because I hate looking up Tim's nose when he's on the camera. I was already aware of it. Thank you. I like to relate table topics to my dogs. When I'm thinking about whether it's destructive or conducive, I have 2 dogs. One is destructive, the other is conducive to my family's relationship. One dog, his name is River. River will tear up anything anytime he has a chance. He gets into everything and he's constantly trying to get out of our yard. The other dog, Erin, is the sweetest dog. She cuddles up next to you, she lays around, relaxes, is calm, cool, and collected. I think that all of us have destructive or conducive innate behaviors. And because of that, it's only as destructive or conducive as the members that are talking. So I think that it's really on us if we choose to allow it to be conducive or destructive. My dog River, again, is destructive by nature. However, he has a sweet side to him. Last night, he was cuddling in bed and he got this new toy and it's a stuffed animal and he's a pit bull. So he should by nature be wanting to destroy this thing. And instead he curls up in a little ball with this little crocodile next to him and he just nibbles on it all night long.
Yeah, all night long.
All night long. And Erin, who's normally our conducive dog, does the exact opposite. She sees him cuddling on it and she rips it out of his mouth and takes it to the other room and it's in a million pieces before we can get it. So we all have these distinct behaviors underlying in each of us, and it's our choice which one we let shine. So be today conducive and not destructive. Kim.
What's the greatest gift a parent can give to a child? Valencia.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master, for this question. The greatest gift a parent can give to a child, in my own opinion, is the gift of prayer and a relationship with God. That's what I think, because I think after Christmas and you played with those toys and you're not looking at them 3 months later, and if you're anything like my 11-year-old son and have outgrown your pairs of shoes every 2 months because of growth spurts, Lord have mercy on my wallet, I think that both of us should be praying and have a very close relationship with God. The other thing is, my son is in middle school, so you know he needs this when he gets on the bus, when he enters the building, when he sits down at the lunch table, right? Before that test, before I leave school for the day, like all the time, I should be talking to the supreme power in my life to help me get through all of these moments in life. And also praying for my mother, my dear mother, who has to go to school and listen to progress reports from teachers and things like that. So I would say that relationship is the most important thing that a parent can give to their child. Thank you.
Thank you, Valencia. What pep talk would you give to someone who lacked confidence in pursuing their goals? What pep talk would you give to someone who lacks the confidence to pursue their goals? Lamima.
Can you please repeat the question? I didn't quite hear.
Yes. What pep talk would you give to someone who lacks confidence in pursuing their goals?
What pep talk would I give someone who lacks confidence in achieving their goals? Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Well, I would give a positive pep talk, you can do it pep talk, letting them know what their gifts are and what they're good at. Being a friend to them, I would have observed ways in which areas that they're gifted at and things that they're good at, and allow them to, when you hear it from someone else, you tend to, you need that sort of being a cheerleader in your corner versus, when you're just thinking about it yourself. So that encouragement and praise to them, and sharing with them their gifts and things that I have seen in them to encourage them to, to do those things, to build up their confidence and realize that they can do it. So giving them a you can do it spirit, and be their cheerleader to cheer them along the way and let them know that I'm there for them. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, for that question.
Thank you, Lamima. TikTok, social good or the end of society as we know it? Jonathan.
Me?
Yeah, you go.
Oh. TikTok. I'm a bad person to ask about TikTok because, well, I never use it. My son, I think, uses it. I'm not 100% sure. And occasionally you come across a video that uses it, but I never use it. As a security guy, and I'm a security guy, huh? The US government just banned it from any government phones and personal equipment. Yeah, you cannot go to TikTok on a government laptop. Yeah, because TikTok's from China.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's a whole thing there happening with that. But it's, to me, it's not necessarily TikTok, it's a whole social media issue. One that I find increasingly more frustrating. I actually had to give up Facebook a few years ago because I got into too many arguments. Yes, Tim, I have replies for you. But I found it to be too much of an echo chamber. Not an echo chamber if you want it to be an echo chamber, well, a huge confrontational thing if you want it to be a huge confrontational thing. And reasonable conversations never happen. So, and then I think that you're giving a voice to someone regardless of their views on anything, which is also dangerous because you get people saying wonderful things like become a member of the Flat Earth Society. We have members all around the globe. Some people have got that. So yeah, I think it's the whole social media thing is a little bit the wet place where it's gone astray, not necessarily just TikTok.
Tim's gonna fix that, right?
Tim's going to fix that. Apparently so.
What's the most important step to calm down a person who's angry? Vicky.
Did you give it away? I knew you were gonna call me because did you see how you looked at me in the beginning?
Extra second. There's a mercy.
Repeat the question. Ah, I'm not here all the way yet. Okay, there you go. Repeat the
What's the
question.
most important step to calm down a person who is angry?
Ah, you didn't ask me that, did you? Yeah, I think back to Facebook. I've learned a lot because I'm in some very confrontational talks with some people on Facebook too. And what I've started doing is just kind of agreeing with them to start with, saying, yeah, that's true. However, or just telling them to have a great day and how much I care for them and I'll be praying for them and just trying to calm them. Yeah, like you said, calm them down. But sometimes on Facebook, like Jonathan said, it's hopeless. And sometimes I just have to block them and go on my merry way because they're getting very ugly. It can be very ugly. But calming people down, yeah, that's not really a gift. So I have to work at it because I've in years past gotten into some serious issues on that. But let me tell you something. Oh, the green's on. Real quick, if you have a relative, this is changing the subject, but I don't get the left one very often, so I'm going to do this. If you have a relative that's like me that makes for a single person under $27,000 a year, which Social Security is well under $27,000 a year, or as a couple, $36,000 a year, they qualify for a government program so they can get free internet or cell phone. So I just did it. I signed my AT&T's coming out Wednesday to change me over from T-Mobile, where I'll get free installation, free internet. This is a real program. It's called the Affordable Connectivity Program. I wanted to tell you because a lot of you probably have relatives, mothers, fathers that qualify for this. So I'm sorry, I just want to pass that along. Thank you.
Tim, approve or disapprove of that program as president?
Shut it down. We don't need 50 of it.
What type of music do you listen to the most and why? DeAndre.
What type of music do I listen to and why?
Yes.
Really, most time I listen to music is usually when I'm at the gym with my headphones on. So it's mainly hip hop or any hype music that will get me going. The reason why I listen to that is, people, I guess, screaming at you or something like that, kind of get you in the mood and kind of in the mood by yourself. So it makes you work harder, in my opinion. So I listen to that quite a bit. That's the main thing. Let's do hip hop. So any hype music, Northwest, no matter what kind of, where they're from, I definitely listen to it. Just because it gets me motivated and gets me going just to start my day off. But that's all I really listen to music is really in the morning working out. Other than that, I really listen to podcasts and things like that. But thank you.
Thank you, DeAndre. The final question. What's one thing in life you wish you had learned sooner? Scott.
I know exactly what it is. This is just such a great tee up. For me, it's public speaking. I have spent so much of my life picking classes like in college. Let's see, do they have a big presentation at the end? Nope, I need basket weaving, sign me up. So, but there are definitely some classes with some professors in college that I knew presentations were a big part of that class, and I didn't want to do that. So I definitely missed out on some things. And I would say since I really started doing this maybe 2 years ago, roughly, that I'm just so much more comfortable, standing up here and talking. And I think of the opportunities that I've missed out on in group settings over the years, where I had something to say, and whether anybody agreed with it or not, who knows, but I thought it was valuable, but I just chose to sit in the back, nod my head, and when the professor was looking around, look down, do all that stuff we do. So I would say for me, public speaking would definitely be something that we should have learned early. Thank you, Jeffrey. Appreciate it.
Back to our Toastmaster.
Yeah, Jeffrey.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey. That was most entertaining. Tim, we need to have a talk later. I'm joking with you. I'm messing around. I know. It's me being Toastmaster. I can do that.
Are we voting?
Are we voting? Yes, we are voting. We are sending everything to Vicky. Oh, hold on.
I knew where my phone went.
Your phone's doing the recording. Send everything to me. Oh, yeah, because I'm logged in. On my phone.
I wrote down what everybody spoke on. Do you want me to read that?
Yeah. Do you want to,
Yeah.
Vicky? Vicky,
Yeah.
why don't you come up here?
Oh, I can do that.
Just as a reminder, Vicky's going to recap what everyone spoke about.
Yeah, because I knew I wouldn't be able to remember who even spoke, let alone what they spoke about. So Tim spoke on being president for a day. Jonathan, the new member, Jonathan, back there. We're going to call him JR. He said we could call him JR. He spoke on being a victim or a victor. Dylan gave his opinion on table topics, are they good or bad? Valencia was her greatest gift to her child. Lamima was encouraging people to achieve their goals. And this Jonathan talked about TikTok. I talked about calming someone down, kind of, sort of. DeAndre talked about his favorite music, and Scott was the one thing that he learned. Did I skip anybody? Okay, good. Thank you. Now we can vote.
Where do we put?
Oh,
Where are we sending them?
Vic, send them to Vicky on the
Yeah,
computer, send them to me, and I'll show her my phone.
Who you thought was good?
So after all of that wonderful fun, we have times. Patricia, do you have the times, please?
I do have the times. Tim, 1 minute and 39 seconds. Jonathan Roberts, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Dylan, 1 minute and 47 seconds. Valencia, 1 minute and 34 seconds. Lamima, 1 minute and 10 seconds. Jonathan Weeks, 1 minute and 57 seconds. Vicky, 1 minute and 59 seconds. DeAndre, 45 seconds. Scott, 1 minute and 12 seconds.
Thank you so much. And now let's have the aha counter. Jake.
All right, so today I was provided with this very nice spreadsheet so I can keep track of everything easily. We'll start off with our Sergeant at Arms. Scott, unless I missed something, I didn't count anything. No ums or ahs or anything. But let's go down here to your table topics. I counted 1 and 2 you knows. Not bad. Jonathan Weeks, I got 2 ums. That was all I heard.
Is that Jonathan Roberts?
No, this is
Jonathan Weeks.
the other Jonathan, sorry.
Oh, you counted.
Our Toastmaster. 2 ums.
Hmm.
Tim,
I counted one one ah. Jeffrey, I didn't hear anything. Valencia, I didn't hear anything. Lamima, we had 5 ahs and 1 you know. Let's see. No, wait. I read the wrong. I wrote Tim in the wrong spot. I'm sorry. Tim, you had 1 2 ahs and 1 you know. Jonathan Roberts, I had 4 1 you know. Dylan, we had 2 ahs. Latricia, we had 1 For table topics, Jonathan, your TikTok speech had 1 ah and 1 you know. Vicky, you had 1 1 you know. DeAndre, you had 1 3 ahs, 2 you knows, and that was it. Thank you very much.
I think that was Lamima. I didn't participate in table topics.
Somebody said something.
Sorry, what was that?
I think he meant Lamima. I didn't participate in table topics.
Yeah,
Oh,
you did.
I thought Latricia spoke too.
No, remember.
No,
I'm sorry, I meant Lamima, my apologies.
It's hard to see the
Yeah,
name.
yeah, sorry, the names are really small on the monitor, so
Yeah.
he might have. I have a winner.
Oh, table topic?
Everyone. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
It's Scott. There you go. Well done. Maybe cherish it and put it with your mementos.
I will.
Okay, we've had now it's time for the general evaluator.
Oh, he's gonna get us back.
Tim.
Thank you so much. Well, to start off,
Back up, or either turn the thing up.
thank
Off, we can't even see it.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can turn it up.
No, it's not that.
That's better, yeah. Okay, so the Toastmaster, uncharacteristically, you started off a little stiff. Normally, you're so smooth, but you had a little bit of a rough start.
So refraining from saying something about my wife.
We all thank you for that. On that, what a great segue. There was one off-color slang that we could have done with that.
Oh, there was.
Oh, I missed that.
Yes, some things sucked.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Oh,
It's not off color for him though.
Well, for some it is. Technically, we had some speaker problems and some little bit of bobbles with the technology, but thanks so much for all the efforts that you put in. What can you do if a speaker goes awry? Yeah? Organizationally, we did have a little bit of a mix up with the timer roll. Got that worked out, but that could have been smoother. I thought the speeches were very well done. The table topics were well done. I do think, though, I need to comment. First of all, coming to this Toastmasters has been so good for me, and I have got a great relationship, I think, with so many of you guys, just in a very short period of time, 2 months. And I really appreciate that. I do remember when I first joined that it was mentioned that we were to be very careful when people gave topics or speeches. If you didn't agree with the content of it, you kind of keep that to yourself.
That hasn't happened.
And I remember there was one that was given about an abortion topic. And I thought, wow, there's probably a lot of people in here that may have a different opinion on that, but not, to the credit of the group, not one comment on that. And I thought, man, it's strong. They have hold by their guns. But apparently that's not always the case. So,
Which might have made your point, right?
and we're still working on the turning it over and staying in front of the screen, which is very hard to do, so, but well-run meeting. I did notice, however, on a positive note, the screen, we've mentioned a couple of times, the blinds closed, which is helpful, especially when you're standing up here.
Scott was sorry.
So, this is my report. Thank you.
Good job.
We actually had an officers meeting before this meeting. And one of the things we brought up was the amount of interruptions to speakers.
And while we still did that.
Yeah, we still did that. Yes, we did. It's very hard habit to break for some people. And that we should maybe add that to the general evaluator's presentation. So whoever's next on general evaluator, something to watch out for. We do have a guest. Megan, do you want to say a word about where you're from, why you're here? And
Megan, I grew up in Mint Hill. I live out in Union County now, but it's good to come back here. I work for an investment bank downtown, and I work with a ton of people who are just very confident and charismatic. And in my new role, I'm going to have to do some speaking and meeting leading as well. So I like to kind of get my skills up to par with the people that I work with.
makes me wonder, because I work for an investment bank that has a office in Charlotte.
Which one?
Lazard.
I work for Black Arch Partners.
Okay. If it's not Rockefeller or Bank of America, yeah, they just, yeah.
We are owned by Regent. I'm sure you've heard of Regent.
Yes, yes, okay, all right. And with that happy note, I think that's it. Does anyone else have anything to say?
Our president, Mike.
Our president?
Yeah, I like the flag.
Please do this on purpose. Hey, man, I see you. It's so long.
Thank you, thank you. So,
Awesome.
what to say? I don't know. So all in all, great meeting today. Many of us have commented on the attendance, both online and in person. This club has grown tremendously over the years. And I think a lot of that is because of the culture that we have established. We're continuing to work on our cultures, a couple of specific things. Tim has already called out that we do want to be mindful of people's opinions and give them space to express themselves. So I just want to remind people of that. I do appreciate the jokes. I really appreciate your joke. But I do think that we want to continue to make space to allow people to have difficult ideas and express difficult ideas, no matter what they might be, especially if you're coming after my flat earthers. flat earthers. During our meeting last week, we raised our club dues. So did want to announce that and make sure everyone was aware of that. I also want to mention that next week we are having you have a comment. Effective in April. So when we sign up for our renewals, will be a little bit more of an increased price than what we're used to, but most of us, I think it was unanimous, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're all in agreement that it's a good thing to raise the dues. Raising the dues as well, I want to also remind everyone, it's really the purpose is to pay for this room. It's $25 a week to pay for this room. We want to also give ourselves some added capacity to increase our capabilities to make us a little bit more professional, so we can go to some of the larger corporations in the area and share that we are doing this. There's plenty of people that need access to leadership development that their companies aren't providing. And I think it's a good value add to the community to provide that. Next week, we're having a speech contest. Most of the roles are filled up. Some of them have not been confirmed yet. If you've not confirmed your role, please don't, so that I can take one of your speaking spots next week for the contest. I really enjoy table topics. Today was a good practice run for our practice contest that we're having before we have the official contest later on in the year. And that is all the things that I wanted to be sure to comment on. Mm-hmm.
I did go through there because we haven't really participated in contests in several years, since way before COVID. And everybody except for myself and Dylan and Valencia have never even seen a contest. So this is just kind of a practice, but I want to be teaching people, what the roles are and what it entails. So I went through last night, and with Jeffrey's approval, because he's actually in charge of it, but I'm kind of teaching him too. So I went through and just assigned roles according to where you are in your journey and what I thought would be the best. So if you will accept that, that'll be fine. And if you want to compete, I didn't know Dylan wanted to compete. So yeah,
We got another slot.
yeah, we have another slot. That's okay. So just, we're all learning next week. So it'll be fun.
Any of our other officers want to add anything?
No, if you hit on what I was gonna speech content.
Oh, so you're fun there.
No, that's quite all right.
Excellent.
I'm
So
not
with that,
sure. Oh,
with that, I will turn the lectern over to Valencia.
You can't turn it over.
I didn't know if you could hear me. Can you hear me in the
Yeah.
room?
Yeah.
Yes.
Would it be helpful? I know that we have a club contest manual from Toastmasters. Would it be helpful for people to have that, like our members of, not just people participating, but just to give an overall view of what the contest entails? And Vicki announced earlier that on the district level, so you start at the club level. If you win there, you go on to the area and then the division and then the district. And so there's some rules in there for eligibility that I think is important as well to know.
Okay.
So
I do want to remind everyone, this is practice. So whoever wins this contest isn't necessarily.
oh, they're not going on?
Yeah.
Oh.
No one's going on anywhere. This is,
No one's doing what?
no one's going on to the district if they win this.
Oh.
It's just practice because we're getting a dry run in before we do the actual one later on in the year. We want to be able to practice all those things you talked about in the manual. Do you have access to that? Do you think you could email that to club members?
Yeah, it's on the TI. I sent it to you and the.
We sent us a link. You gotta go to
Yeah,
the website.
speech content.
Well,
yeah.
Dylan, if you're saying later on in the year, just know that there's a deadline for when the club has to have their contest before they can move on to the next level. So I'll just put that out there. But the other thing I did want to say about culture, since that did come up, I know that a lot of people have the freedom in Matthews Mint Hill to say, things that would not normally happen at workplaces and other places. There's just certain topics that you stay away from. So I think that we all have to keep that in mind. And if we are going to respect each other and whatever we feel and think, then we all have to kind of think that way when we enter the room. That's the only thing that I wanted to say. I was face planting through this whole meeting. I don't know if you saw me. I was just like, Lord. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Good. Excellent. Any other final thoughts?
We have a new member. Bob is signing up today. Jonathan.
Oh, he hasn't signed up yet. He might change his mind.
We won't let him out of the room.
Oh, yeah, we're lovely, all right. And then JR, or Jonathan Roberts, is our newest member. He signed up 1st of December, so we're growing. And
Growing.
hopefully Megan will say, yeah, I can do this. So we'll see.
All right, meeting is adjourned.